Back under the legacy. What you're staring at is a drain filler tube and a missing oil pan and a missing header. I've had a fun couple of days. This car continued to weep oil after having a plug replaced and a drain plug replaced, and it was leaking before the oil change. It was leaking after the oil change. So basically went in to put a different style of instead of a crushed gasket, the paper gasket in. Went to put the gasket in, went to snug it down with the gasket on the plug, and the thread stripped out. So it was basically done. There was no saving the pan. There's really no way to fix those threads, not at least appropriately. So got a new oil pan, and then the next disaster hit, which was this stupid fill tube. This little marred, now burnt, and everything else. I ended up having to cut the dipstick off of the oil pan itself. I sat here with a hacksaw. I pulled and pulled and pulled. I actually bent and almost destroyed the bracket on the top end for this. It would not come free. Afterwards, I cut it. I got the pan right off. Easy. Took the dipstick tube off. It's the holder. Tube goes there, or the oil pickup. Still had to get the old end off of the dipstick. And this you can't replace without taking off the entire cover, because there's a brilliant feat of automotive engineering. So, since you can't replace this, I pretty much had to get the piece off and deal with the now marred and beat the hell tube. There's two grooves here that have O-rings in, and those O-rings were phenomenal at holding things like rust and all other things that will not free. So, that was actually the issue. And I knew there was at least one O-ring in here. I did not know there's a double O-ring. So what I started with was penetrating oil, and it wouldn't free up. What I ended up doing to get the bit of tube that I cut off, which let's see, where's that little piece? This is coming into frame. That is the the light's really not in our favor here. That is the end. That's the hacksaw part. This bit is still stuck on there like a son of a bitch. And there's no better description for that. You see in there a little bit. It's covered in rust. So the penetrating oil didn't help because there's two O-rings in there, and the O-rings were actually, mileage-wise, they're baked hard. So the penetrating oil wasn't getting in. After cutting it off, got the pan out. What I ended up doing was lighting the penetrating oil on fire. And had I thought about this in advance, that actually might have saved me the time of trying to cut this end off. So really, if you're trying to get the oil pan off and you're feeling adventurous with some fire, you can probably light this end up with a propane torch. I wouldn't recommend MAP gas. Just get some heat on it and see if it frees up. It would have probably saved me a lot of headache this morning. Figured I'd just share that little bit with you, and hopefully that helps somebody else out along the way. So if you have one of these that's stuck, penetrating oil, let it sit. If that doesn't free it up, light it up. Hopefully that helps somebody out there. Good luck.